Hey everybody, Bill Murphy here, talking about Path of Exile's brand new expansion called Atlas of Worlds. It launches on September 2nd, that's right, next month, and significantly improves the endgame map creation system where players have been spending so much time since the game launched a few years back. We spoke with Grinding Gear's Chris Wilson about the myriad ways in which Atlas of Worlds improves the endgame for Path of Exile and how the new Essence Challenge League brings challenges for new players too. Called Atlas of Worlds, Grinding Gear's newest Path of Exile expansion is squarely focused on improving the endgame for its players. As Chris put it, about 95% of our game is spent on the randomized map generation you do after the story has been completed. It only made sense to finally make an expansion focused on enhancing that system. So while Wilson told me players could go ahead and keep playing the endgame like they always have, while ignoring the whole new Atlas system, as our talk continued it became clear to me that only the foolish would do so. The Atlas of Worlds refers to a literal map being bolded and twisted by the Shaper, the expansion's ultimate boss. As you come out of your first map using the map device in your hideout, Zana will tell you about the Shaper and what's really going on behind the randomly generated dream worlds you venture into. Now for longtime players, yes, you'll still be crafting maps, adding mods to them, only now the actual Atlas will come into play. And while there were roughly 70 maps all randomized before, now there are around 100, meaning that the team has created 30 new map types just for this expansion, roughly double what a normal Act expansion would add. You'll use things like Orbs of Alchemy still to add more mods onto your maps, thereby increasing the difficulty but also the rewards. Oh, and in total there are 19 new bosses across the Atlas as well. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. Yes, there are still organized in tiers, and as you can see in the picture of the Atlas we've included here, you may start in the upper right desert area and work your way slowly down to the middle compass. Each one of those monster portraits in the middle represents a major boss monster that must be defeated to get its key. Once you have all 4 keys, you'll be able to unlock the middle star and challenge the Shaper himself. Right there in the middle, he's sort of the ultimate boss. So interesting to note, clearing each spot on the Atlas at least once, will at least give you 1% towards an overall 100% increased special item drop rate in each map. So while some players might think it's best to just make a beeline for the bosses in the middle, truly exploring the Atlas and covering every single corner is far more rewarding in the long run. The map doesn't start out looking like this either. It only shows all of its locations after you have uncovered the Fog of War and visited them each. This is basically what a completed Atlas might look like. Now the new maps and locales themselves are impressive to look at and vastly different from what we've become used to in the drab and dark main acts of Path of Exile. Because they take place in a sort of dream world, Grinding Gear has been able to stretch their legs a bit and give us things like lush verdant oases, towering red rock cliffs, a literal river of lava rushing headlong into the ocean, and crypts absolutely infested with ichor and spider webs. It's a whole new world, but without Aladdin singing. Additionally, though players will have to figure it all out themselves, and no doubt will then share it on the wiki, Chris and his team have made item drops from specific regions on the map. One such example is the Bone Helmet, which now drops in the graveyard maps only. Grinding Gear wagers it's only a matter of time before people catalog all of their favorite drops and put them on the wiki, but that's part of the fun, right? Figuring out where things drop, discovering that, and then farming it for profit. You'll also loot things called Shaper's Orbs while playing the maps. These are used to upgrade each map on the Atlas by 5 levels, so Grinding Gear knows that eventually a map type might be useless to you and where your character's progression is at, so this mechanic allows you to take an older map and increase its difficulty and level so that you can still use it and still have fun in it. As always, the orbs themselves are tradable and shareable. And another cool item to use on the Atlas is the Cartographer's Sextant. They apply random mods to a map, but also every other map within the circumference of the red circle the Sextant makes. Each mod lasts 5 charges, and you can bring anyone with you into your Atlas maps too. So you might get a mod that increases your critical chance, or maybe magic drops. You might get random properties, or it might even add a mob to give the monsters really powerful abilities to use against you. It's entirely the luck of the draw, but as they say, no reward without a few risks. This mechanic, as Grinding Gear has seen internally, really increases the socialization of people grouping up when the mods are good or unique or weird and tackle the challenges together. Ultimately, you may find your way to the Shaper, and you'll kill him, but Chris reckons the random generation and the additions they've made to the overall map creation system with the Atlas will greatly enhance both the replayability and overall enhance the longevity of players sticking around after the story is complete. There's just a much more cohesive union to the Atlas of Worlds, and it makes the whole endgame experience feel much more complete. Now, new to Path of Exile, or maybe just newish? Fear not, Atlas of Worlds will also launch with the Essence Challenge League. Like all Challenge Leagues, the Essence League starts at everyone at the beginning with a fresh character, and the key to the Essence part of the equation is a brand new item that will drop. These Essences can then give you fabulous new effects on your items, and can also take 3 of them to mold them into a higher tier Essence, which will become even more powerful. And as you rove about the game and you play through the acts and you complete each stage in the 3-month-long league, you'll come upon trapped monsters. Now, using an essence upon these monsters frees the monster within and adds unpredictable enhancements to them. The good thing, this means you could then get the essence you used on them plus the essence that was added to them, giving you multiple essences to use to mod your gear. The bad thing, it could also fizzle and just go like that and make the monster that much more a pain in the butt for no reward whatsoever. Of course, as the game grows, as its player base has with each new expansion, there will be more map types and tickets or tile sets to pull from, and the Atlas will likely expand even more into new directions and territories. But for now, there's an epic amount of content to uncover with this expansion. So when Atlas of Worlds launches on September 2nd, there may not be as much there for new players as there has been with past expansions, but that's okay. There are at least 3 years or more of old-school veterans of Path of Exile just chomping at the bit to uncover every corner of this Atlas, and something tells me they're going to have a damn fine time doing so.
Make sure to level up your MMO knowledge by visiting MMORPG.com, subscribing to our YouTube channel, and by following us on social media. To catch up on the week's biggest MMO news, watch our latest MMO FTW. And to see if there's a better MMO out there for you, watch one of our latest First Impressions videos. Thanks for watching.